Hi, this is Jonathan Weiner in Maryland, China, and today I'm going to give you an overview of how our copy-cal transfer paper works. Our copy-cal transfer paper can be found on our website as item 6880. So what is it? It's a paper that you print in your laser printer. So we use a large color copier here. The brand we use, which we get asked a lot, is the Savin CPC3503. We've also used the Canon C1, but basically any large color copier will work, and some of the smaller desktop color laser printers work. It does have to be a laser printer, it can't be an inkjet. So this paper allows you to print transfers that can be applied to porcelain as a water slide decal. So I'm just going to give you an example of a layout we printed to do these samples. It prints on 11 by 17 paper, that's the only size available, but if you want to cut it down to 8.5 by 11, just cut it in half, and then you can feed it as letter size sheets into your copier. So some of the uses that this paper is designed for is both doing samples and finished product. It is cured or made permanent in an oven, not a kiln. So it bakes at 350 degrees, not a kiln which fires up to say 1500 or higher. But what it allows you to do is get that image on top of the glaze. It doesn't fire into the glaze. But it's great for creating samples or doing things where you're sizing. I'm going to show you these three products today. The images I cut out of this layout. One, we're going to do a Stein, which is for a company called Greywater Ops. They do military items decorated with squadrons, insignias, and personalized with names. They want to do a line of Steins, and we're working with them to make sure the sizing of the artwork is correct. And they also don't want to wait in order to make photos of their products to get them online. So this cuts down the sample processing time for items like that. The second is going to be this pet urn. And this is an item that we're going to decorate with the picture on this center area. And then it's going to be baked in the oven, and that's what's going to make it permanent. And my third item is a personalized gift, a vase that we are going to put a couple's picture and wedding date on. So let's put that. What I'm doing is I've cut these out from my layout and I'm dipping them in water because it's a water slide decal. So you put that in the water, you allow the image is going to curl up, and as it begins to uncurl, that's when it's ready to be applied. So I'm just going to get a paper towel here. Use this as a squeegee. One tip is when you're applying this to the item, don't take the transfer, which is the plasticky piece, off before you apply it. Actually leave that white backing there, and then this slides away like those old model airplane decals, or if you're familiar with decorating with just regular water slide decals, that is something that you'll be familiar with, and that's how it works. So now I've got this placed correctly. I hold it, with my thumb, and I'm just going to squeegee out that water from the center out. So this is nice because I can do all of this design in Photoshop or Illustrator, any of the graphics programs that I can then just print on a laser printer. So I'm not using any special inks. It's just the regular laser toner that it comes with. The paper is rather thick. So when you print with it, you're going to want to send it through the bypass tray, and your paper settings, you're going to want to use one of the thick settings. So I used coated paper, thick 3, and you're printing on that glossy side, the shiny side, because it's that actual plastic carrier that gets the image there, or is what allows the image to transfer. So you can see we've done that one item. Allow it to dry for about 24 hours, or at least an hour or two. If you're going to make them that day. The longer you let it dry, the better. You're getting that air and water out, and then you bake it at 350 for 15 minutes. You can tell that you've over-baked it if the edges start to turn brown. That's a sign that you've left it in too long. Better to undercook than overcook this. The colors do get a little glossier though as it finishes that curing process. But again, this is going to sit on top of the glaze, so you can slightly feel it with your hand. It's not fired in like a traditional high fire decal, but it's great for even making samples for a trade show, doing samples that you're going to photograph. you're not going to see any line or anything like that. So the next item that we're going to do is this pet urn. And what I've done here is I've used actually a paper punch that you can pick up at a craft supply store or online. It's usually found as like a scrapbooking supply. But if you're doing a lot of circle items, you can get these pre-sized cut punches. This is a 2-inch one. I'll show it to you in a moment after I just do a quick application here. But here, this is how a lot of veterinarian companies or specialty companies that supply the pet market will do items like urns. You can see how easy it is to apply, then I've just got to let it dry. And again, it goes in the oven. And just to show you what that punch looks like, this punches out a 2-inch piece, and what you do is there's a slot there that you cut it down to, close to the size, and then this goes in, and then you just knock it with that punch and you can get a perfect circle. So for high volume items, or if you're going to do like a lot of ornaments, pieces that are all the same size that they make in, I know, preset 1.5, 2, 2.5 inch sizes, that's a really good solution to speed up your decorating. And then the third item we're going to do today is this vase, and it looks like my transfer has started to stick on itself, so I'd recommend not leaving it in quite as long. I'll put one more in there just as a backup here to let you see that. But what you're going to want to do with this paper, again, you're using it with a laser printer. It doesn't fire in because you're firing it in the oven, but it's really good for your sampling and personalized gift products where the item, say, isn't going to go in the dishwasher, because the downside of this paper is that if you soak it in your sink or put it in the dishwasher, moisture will eventually cause the image to come off. So it's not good for outdoor uses. If you're doing something from like the memorial market, we also have these urns in the larger size that they do use for that market, and it's only for urns that are going to stay indoors. But once you do cook it on there, it is permanent. We do have people doing plates, again, the vases, the sampling items. So here, this one has started to come away. Here, you just slide it on. And it floats around pretty well on the porcelain for placement, so you just get it where you want. So again, people will ask, well, it's not as permanent as the kiln fired. The benefit of this over sublimation is you can then decorate items that might not be coated. So you can then decorate onto porcelain. We have, say, 2,000 items in our catalog that are just regular porcelain items that aren't coated for sublimation, whereas the sublimation decorating, you have to have an item that has that polymer coating on there that then uses the sublimation inks. So this is your standard color toner versus sublimation uses the special inks, and these items are not coated versus sublimation, the items are coated. So that's some of the applications for the Copy Cow. Again, it can be found on our website as item 6880 at marylandchina.com. And do give us a call. We're also happy to send you one of our catalogs for free, so please call us at 800-638-3880, or again, visit us online, marylandchina.com. And that is a quick overview of our Copy Cow paper. Again, my name is Jonathan Weiner, and do call us with any questions. Thanks.